Hi guys, this is going to be a bit of a ramble video, a chat about the mods for Chapter 3. I've been updating my load order, getting the game up to the latest version, updating SKSE 64, trying to fix all the mods, etc. But I've also updated a number of the mods to the latest versions if I thought it was appropriate, and I've updated DynDOLOD so everything looks good. I think the latest version of ELE is actually a small improvement on the old one, but that could be my imagination, or it could be that in the process of updating things, I got my load order better, but it looks lighter and easier to see in certain interiors. Not all of them, but in certain interiors. I'll need to check that further. I've updated... one thing I was going to do is I was going to change to NAT, and I loved the way it made the game look, and I loved the nights. They were so deep, dark, and pretty terrifying, actually.
My working days are
but
done.
Honestly, it really did make the viewing experience a little tougher, I think. I mean, I have that problem with ELE anyway. I'm constantly trying to balance the atmosphere versus watchability, and it is a tough one. NAT did look great. It made the nights very realistic, but it also made them so insanely dark that I think it would be a major problem for a lot of people. Obsidian Weathers does give some atmosphere. It does feel darker, as you can see. Way darker than the vanilla game, because the vanilla game's just ridiculous. It's, you know, nighttime in the vanilla game is just daytime with a blue filter. This does look like night, but, you know, you can view it. So I think I'm sticking with Obsidian Weathers. I mean, I do like Obsidian Weathers. It's a great mod. I just wanted to try NAT because I do think it looks pretty good as well. And I like to try different things. But from a viewer perspective, I decided to stick with Obsidian. I'm sure quite a few of you will be happy about that. And possibly that I've managed to get ELE a little brighter. One of the reasons I changed to ELE from ELFX, for those of you that don't know, was places like the Winking Skeever. With ELFX, I was getting a ridiculously dark tavern here. And I was also getting lights flickering, whereas as you can see with ELE, it's actually reasonably bright. You can see very clearly and there are no flickering lights, so that's the main reason I switched to that. But that obviously was a switch I made for Chapter 2. And I want to talk about Chapter 3 mods. Basically what I'm saying is I've updated my load order, everything is working except for Quick Loot. I'm going to have to wait for the latest version of Quick Loot to be able to use that. I did debate sticking with the old version of Skyrim, but honestly, there were so many other mods that had updated, I really did want to do an update. And I can reinstall Quick Loot when it has been updated. I haven't added too many new mods. I'm going to be adding quite a lot of outfits. You're going to see that through the Let's Play, but I don't feel like I need to talk about that much. That's really just going to be something you're going to see as the chapter progresses. I do want to talk about Sneak Tools. Now, Sneak Tools is a mod I considered using before, but decided against because I was worried it might make life too easy. And my thinking behind that was the things like Slit Throat. It allows you to slit throats or kill sleeping people by sneaking. And I thought to myself, the thing is at the start of the game, in Chapter 1, Leonard is going to be terrible at sneak, terrible at one-handed, just terrible at everything. And I kind of wanted him to fail a lot in that department. And I wanted him to get better at that side of things more naturally, and I had no idea how Sneak Tools handled that sort of balance. I had no idea, and I was worried that it might be too powerful. At this point, though, Leonard is already pretty good at killing people if he sneaks up behind them, so that mod probably won't change much in that regards. And of course it does add things like water arrows, which I'm very interested in. It allows you to put out light sources, and I think that would suit my current playthrough a lot. So that's one I'm giving some consideration to. It has a few other tools as well. I'm hoping none of them are too overpowered. There is, I believe, some option to wear masks that will hide your identity on you know, when you're going out thieving, and I think that actually is reasonable. I think that's reasonable, but I do wonder whether it might... Well, it will make things a little easier, although I'm at the point with Leonard that if he gets caught stealing, it really is not a big issue anyway. So if he can run away, take off the mask, and he has no bounty, it makes little to no difference. And of course it does give me an incentive at that point to actually run away again, rather than just pay the Thieves Guild bounty, the adjusted bounty. So I'm thinking that could still be a cool thing. The other mod I'm thinking about using in a similar vein is Master of Disguise. That allows you to wear outfits of different factions and basically blend in. Stealth in plain sight. And that is just the sort of mod I think really suits Leonard, who is obsessed with outfits. And, you know, this character, I never wanted this character to be predominantly about the whole ninja thief skills. And as you saw all the way through Chapter 1 and even Chapter 2 to some degree, he definitely focused on speechcraft and, of course, alchemy. So the ability to talk and bluff your way into places, to infiltrate through disguise, through, you know, speechcraft type skills really does appeal to me. I am worried that that mod may be... It's a very, very big mod. And I have to be absolutely sure I want it. And I say big, as in it has a lot of things going on. That's the sort of mod that once you've installed, you probably never want to uninstall. Like, I've uninstalled Simply Knock, by the way. I never ever use it, and the latest version's incompatible with... Sorry, the current version is incompatible with the latest version of SKSE, so I decided to uninstall it at this point. I never use it, and I looked at it and it looked pretty safe to uninstall. Master of Disguise, I think once I go there, that's it. It's staying, so I need to be absolutely sure about that. However, believe it or not, the major question I want to pose to you guys is regarding the Grey Cowl of Nocturnal. He says, I hope you guys don't mind me... I'm sort of... In a way, I'm semi-mod testing whilst I'm chatting to you. I'm wandering around just looking for glitches in all the mods with the distant terrain. I was actually going to go outside. I was getting distracted. I hope you don't mind. It's either that or just sit still or stare at a browser. So you get to see me wandering around. It is dark. Probably not a lot to see. If you're on a mobile phone, you've probably thought I just had a black screen at you or something. I don't know. Mobile phones seem pretty bad. They do. Let's have some light. Yeah, I'm looking in the distance, see if there's anything wrong with DynDOLOD, that type of thing. So yeah, Grey Cowl of Nocturnal. This is a quest mod, and it's related to the topic at hand with the sneak tools and Master of Disguise, because of course you at the end get an item that will allow you to hide your identity, which is brilliant. My worries, I've got two, not worries, I've got one worry and one question. My worry about the Grey Cowl of Nocturnal is I've been told you're constantly referred to as the Dragonborn. And I'm wondering, is this like in your face? Oh, you are the Dragonborn who slays dragons and absorbs their shouts. Is it that kind of thing? Like where Leonard's going to be going, okay, you guys are loonies, and therefore pretty much incompatible with where Leonard is up to? Or is it going to be just really, really sort of minor, subtle things where certain characters just have this nasty habit of calling you Dragonborn? Because that I could possibly work around. I could I mean, if you think about it, I could consider it a nickname. Leonard is now the curator, or one of the curators at the Museum of the Dragonborn. And maybe I could sort of consider it just, you know, they just know me as the Dragonborn Museum guy, and for short, it's Dragonborn. Could I play that way? Or is it really just in your face? You just got to be the Dragonborn. Or, you know what? Is it going to be one of those things where you need a shout? So that's my my sort of question. That's my worry. Should I hold off on that content mod? Because I was going to add that into Chapter 3. But that leads me to the question. Should I include it in Chapter 3? Or is that content sort of self-contained? I get the feeling it might be the sort of thing that was more like Helgen Reborn or Moonpath to Elsewhere. It should be its own chapter or mini-chapter. Would that make more sense? Because if so, then what I can do is I can make that Chapter 3, and what I'm currently working on at the moment, I could make that Chapter 4. I'm halfway through making the prelude for Chapter 3. So maybe I could just make Chapter 3 that mod and then move on to Chapter 4. And don't worry, that does not mean there'll be a short Chapter 3, then a long break and Chapter 4. What I was thinking was I would just do Chapter 3, the mod, and Chapter 4 would start immediately. It would just go, you know, without any break whatsoever. So it would feel almost like one long chapter, but I would have split it up more to make it, I don't know, easier to digest and just look a little better in the playlists. It's pretty dark. It's hard to see the distant terrain, isn't it? I should probably wait. How the hell do you wait with a controller? For those of you that can't figure out, I'm using a controller. How? Yay, got it. Oh my god, this is going on forever. I have rambled this one into the ground, haven't I? This was supposed to be like a quick 2 or 3 minute video. This really was supposed... It was going to be a ramble question video whilst doing a tiny bit of mod testing. Now it's just become a mod testing video with mostly ramble. No, that's looking pretty good. That is looking pretty good. Oh god. Didn't I leave you behind? I left you behind. I told you to wait. You're not doing as you're told, which is very bad. Yes, it is. Right. Yeah. Okay. Let's go back and just keep checking in this direction. So there you go. That is my basic question at the moment. Grey Cowl of Nocturnal. Is it compatible with a playthrough where I've not actually become the Dragonborn? And if so, should I do it as a mini chapter and then move what it was going to be Chapter 3 to become Chapter 4 and have them run one after another? Because I can do that. That is what I'm putting to you. I am considering other mods, but honestly, nothing is grabbing me totally. I've got a few things, like the mod I've been making to make it so I can't murder people and use Thieves Guild influence. And there are 1 or 2 others people have suggested that I'm looking into. But obviously I have to be careful on a playthrough like this. I don't want to cause major issues. So I will do a proper video where I discuss all of the mod changes in detail, which means those of you who've watched this are going to get it a second time. Well, some of it. Some of the details are going to be repeated. I do apologise for that. But if you've managed to sit through this amount of ramble asking a simple damned question about Grey Cowl of Nocturnal, chances are you're probably not going to shout at me too much for that, are you? Okay, probably going to shout at me a little, aren't they? Fair enough. Yeah, they probably will. You're right. I'm gonna go with... Why are we wandering around here? I'm supposed to be looking at the vista and just checking out that I can see very far, and now I'm getting distracted and running into packs of wolves. There's Dragonbridge. I do like DynDOLOD. It really is nice. It really is. I always used to say, I'm not that bothered about the visuals. I'm really not. I don't need great visuals, but... And I don't. It is true. It's absolutely true. I don't need them. But they help a little, don't they? Especially in a place like Skyrim, which is, by its very nature, picturesque. It's a very picturesque place. And being able to see off in the distance and see those mountains and see distant buildings is just really nice, isn't it? And I've just gone off, haven't I? I'm getting back to testing. And no, I'm not going to just make a 1-hour video of me running around Skyrim going, ooh, look at that. Maybe I'll make that video one day, but... You know, hey, that's probably what I should do. I'll have one video next time that is me running around as a tourist, which is something I always said I'd do. And then another video, which is a 2-minute video that just asks a simple question. And it'll probably end up being 20 minutes long anyway, because I will end up rambling and getting distracted. So, yeah. Sorry about that. That's High Hrothgar, isn't it? That is High Hrothgar. Have we always been able to see that from here? I mean, it's just one of those things I've never really looked for. You don't spend much time looking at the vanilla skyline in Skyrim unless you want your eyeballs to jump out of your head and disown you. I'm pretty sure I've never been able to see Azura's statue and Winterhold from here, so that's cool. But High Hrothgar... That is High Hrothgar, isn't it? Knowing my luck, it's just a tree.